Hi, this is Andy Scott with North Shore Apartments and Condos. I'm walking into a smaller studio at 1570 Oak. It's number 408. It's really, we call it smaller, but it's really a pretty good size. It's easily 12 feet across and 13 and a half feet long. We've measured these before. I can't remember exactly what the dimensions are, but they're a nice size. You can easily get a living and working stations in this living room. The windows are facing south. Before we get to the windows, however, if I turn a little to the left, we get a glimpse of the kitchen. There's also a huge walk-in closet. You see the radiator in the left corner, and there is a ceiling fan. So I'm going to walk towards the windows. Windows are facing south. We're on the 4th floor, so mostly what we're looking at is the building next door, but we still get a lot of light and a lot of reflected light off the building. Turning around again, trying to show you the dimensions of the room. There's the front door and where we came in, and again on the right you see a sliver of the kitchen. If I turn a little more to the right, we see a huge walk-in closet, which I will show you. The closet is practically another room. I would say it's easily 8 feet deep by 7 feet across at the furthest spots. You've got 2 hanging bars, a couple of shelves, hooks, massive amount of space. I've seen people put workstations in. I've seen people even put mattresses in the walk-in closet. So I'm going to step into the bathroom for a second, which is just off the walk-in closet. Try to give you an idea of how big it really is. And then looking out onto the living room, we get another perspective there. So from the walk-in closet, we would see a vintage bath. We have a standard vintage commode, vintage tiles. It does have its own radiator, a pedestal sink. There is a medicine cabinet with a couple of shelves. Looks like that needs to be touched up a little bit. Enormous water pressure. That's just the hot water. And I barely clicked it on, so it's just terrific water pressure. You do have a window that faces south, and the tile around the tub is new. We retiled it last year. The shower head's about 5 feet 8, and the tub is squeaky clean. Now, I'm going to show you the shower water pressure as well, which is also amazing. So you've got great water pressure. If you're super tall, we could probably put a hose in there for you, because like I said, it's only about 5'8" or so. Nice tiles, super clean tub. Pedestal sink, standard commode, and you get pretty good light with the south view. Again, we'll take another look. Boy, this thing keeps fuzzing out. Just a massive closet that leads to a large living room, which I'm actually going to walk towards the windows and around the outer wall. See if I can stay in focus, just to give you an idea of how big that closet is. It really is like a second room. As we go towards the front door, we get a better look at the kitchen. It's a small kitchen, definitely built before they thought. This was originally built for men, and I guess they didn't think men needed to do much cooking. Ceramic tiles on the floor. Newer stove and newer fridge. In fact, the cabinets are newer. The whole kitchen was put in about a year ago. Stove is nice. It's smaller, but it's super clean. Inside is super clean. I'm not sure our tenant really even cooked. So Little bit of counter space, beautiful stainless steel sink with a hose attachment for dishes. Again, great water pressure, just the hot water. The fridge is small but big enough for 1 or 2 people with a freezer on top. What do we got in there? I guess we don't have anything. Shelves, crisper drawer on the bottom, shelves to the right. So we also have the cabinets, which are about 2 feet high and about 12 inches deep. There's 3 cabinets to each one, and we've got 3 sets of those. So there's one set there and another set in between. So there's actually pretty good storage space. So the kitchen is smaller, but this is super clean. The stove is really a nice looking stove, actually. Smaller fridge, but definitely enough for 1 person. Ceramic floor, and lots of cabinets. So that brings us to the front door. I'll just turn around one last time for the living room and the ceiling fan. And thank you for watching.